Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever paused for a moment, maybe while watching the stars or caught in a fleeting thought and marveled at how profoundly strange it is just to be? That existence itself is a paradox, a bizarre tapestry woven from threads of the ordinary and the extraordinary, the profound and the absurd. Why are we here? What does it all mean? And perhaps the strangest question of all, why do we even care? Today, let's step back from the busyness of our lives and explore the weirdness of simply existing. Not to solve the puzzle, but to revel in its mystery, to laugh, wonder, and embrace the magic of this grand, inexplicable spectacle we call life. Life is an intricate dance between chaos and order, a delicate balance that shapes every moment of our existence. From the structure of galaxies to the ebb and flow of our daily lives, we are caught in the rhythm of this interplay. It is a relationship as old as time, and yet it is constantly renewing itself, like the rise and fall of waves on the shore. To understand this dance is not to control it, but to see its beauty and move in harmony with its steps. Chaos and order seem like opposites, yet they are deeply interconnected. Order gives us the framework to make sense of the world, the patterns that help us navigate and create meaning. It is the steady pulse of our heartbeat, the turning of the seasons, the comforting repetition of the sun rising each day. Without order, life would feel unmoored, adrift in randomness. But chaos, wild, unpredictable chaos, brings vitality to existence. It is the spark of creativity, the disruption that pushes us to grow, and the unpredictability that keeps us alive to possibility. Without chaos, life would stagnate, caught in an endless loop of repetition. Our instinct often drives us to seek stability, to cling to the comfort of order. We plan, categorize, and structure our lives, hoping to create a sense of control. Yet, life has a way of disrupting even our best laid plans. The unexpected appears, a sudden storm, an unplanned encounter, or a profound loss, and shatters our illusion of certainty. In these moments, chaos seems like an intruder, an unwelcome guest who disrupts our carefully curated world. But if we look closer, we might see that these disruptions carry their own kind of wisdom. Chaos is not the enemy, it is the catalyst for transformation. Think of the forest fire that clears the underbrush, allowing new growth to emerge. Or the unpredictability of love, which, though messy and complex, fills life with connection and meaning. Chaos demands that we adapt, that we let go of what no longer serves us, and that we open ourselves to new possibilities. It forces us to step out of our comfort zones, to learn and evolve in ways we might never have imagined. Order, too, has its dangers when held too tightly. A life obsessed with control can become rigid and lifeless, like a river frozen in ice. True harmony lies not in eliminating chaos or clinging to order, but in embracing the interplay between the two. It is a dance, after all, and neither partner can lead all the time. The magic happens in the balance, in the fluidity of movement, where each moment is shaped by a bit of chaos and a touch of order. In this dance, we are both participants and witnesses. The natural world reflects this rhythm everywhere we look. A flock of birds in flight moves in seemingly perfect synchronicity, yet their path is shaped by countless tiny, chaotic adjustments. A river carves its course through rock, creating order from the randomness of flowing water. Even in our own bodies, chaos and order coexist. Our hearts beat with regularity, yet each beat is uniquely shaped by the chaos of our emotions and environment. To live fully is to embrace this cosmic dance, to recognize that life is not meant to be pinned down or perfected. It is meant to be lived, with all its unpredictability and grace. When we stop fighting chaos and stop clinging to order, we find a deeper sense of freedom. We learn to move with the rhythm of life, trusting that each step, whether planned or improvised, is part of a larger, ever-unfolding pattern. In the end, the dance between chaos and order is not something outside of us, it is us. It is the essence of existence, the heartbeat of the universe. And in that realization, we might discover that the dance itself is enough. There is no need to control it, no need to resist it. We are already part of its flow, and the only thing left to do is to join in, to move with the music, and to trust that, somehow, the dance always leads us home. We spend much of our lives striving for control. We plan meticulously, set goals, and map out our futures, hoping to shape the world around us to fit our expectations. The illusion of control becomes a comforting narrative, giving us a sense of security and order in an unpredictable world. Yet, life has a way of reminding us that this control is, at best, a fragile illusion. Plans unravel, outcomes defy expectations, and the unforeseen intrudes. And in these moments, we are forced to confront a profound truth: we are not in control of much at all. At first, this realization can feel unsettling. We are conditioned to believe that control equates to power, that to master life we must bend it to our will. From childhood, we are taught to strive, to achieve, to take charge of our destinies. This narrative is reinforced by a world that celebrates success as the triumph of control over circumstances, challenges, even over oneself. But if we look closely, we see cracks in this narrative. Despite our best efforts, life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan. No amount of preparation or determination can shield us entirely from the randomness of existence. Control, as we often pursue it, is an illusion because life is inherently unpredictable. The forces that shape our existence nature, time, the actions of others, are beyond our grasp. Even our own minds and bodies, which we assume to be under our command, surprise us with unexpected thoughts, emotions, and physical changes. This unpredictability is not a flaw in life's design, it is its essence. To live is to be part of a dynamic, ever-changing reality, one that cannot be fully understood or controlled. Paradoxically, freedom lies not in resisting this truth, but in embracing it. Letting go of the need for control is not an act of resignation, it is an act of liberation. When we release our grip on the idea that we must manage every detail, we create space for life to unfold in its own way. We begin to see that uncertainty is not something to fear, but something to explore. It opens the door to possibilities we could never have imagined if we clung to rigid plans. Letting go does not mean passivity or apathy. It is not about giving up on dreams or abandoning effort. Rather, it is about shifting our focus from controlling outcomes to engaging fully with the process of living. It is about showing up with intention, doing our best, and then trusting the flow of life to carry us where we need to go. This trust is not blind faith, but a recognition of life's inherent wisdom, a wisdom that often exceeds our own limited understanding. Consider how many moments of beauty and meaning arise not from control, but from surrender. A conversation that takes an unexpected turn becomes deeply moving. A detour on a journey leads to an unforgettable experience. Even in challenges, there is a strange alchemy at work when we stop resisting and start accepting. We find strength we didn't know we had, discover new perspectives, and grow in ways that only adversity could teach us. Letting go also brings us closer to others. Relationships often suffer when we try to control how people think, feel, or act. When we let go, we allow others the freedom to be themselves, creating space for authenticity and connection. In this way, surrender becomes an act of love, a way of honoring the unpredictability and individuality of those we care about. At its heart, letting go is about being present. When we release the need to control the future, we can fully engage with the here and now. We notice the subtleties of the moment, the textures of experience that are often overshadowed by our striving. In this presence, we discover a profound sense of peace, not because everything is perfect, but because we are no longer fighting against the natural flow of life. The ultimate freedom comes when we realize that we were never meant to control life in the first place. Life is not a problem to be solved or a battle to be won. It is a mystery to be lived, a dance to be joined. And in that dance, the most meaningful steps are often the ones we didn't plan, the ones that arise spontaneously when we stop trying to lead and simply allow ourselves to move with the rhythm. Letting go is not the end of effort, but the beginning of grace. It is the moment when we step out of the role of master and into the role of participant, trusting that the unfolding of life, in all its unpredictability, is exactly as it should be. Life often feels heavy, burdened by the weight of expectations, responsibilities, and the endless pursuit of meaning. From a young age, we are taught to take life seriously, to set goals, solve problems, and achieve success. We treat existence as a project to be completed, a puzzle to be solved, or a battle to be won. Yet, beneath this seriousness lies a profound truth: life is not a task, it is a play. And perhaps the greatest wisdom lies in learning to approach it with the lightness and joy of playfulness. Imagine a child at play, fully immersed in the moment, inventing worlds with boundless creativity and joy. For the child, the act of playing is the point. There is no ulterior motive or grand outcome to achieve. The child is not worried about whether the game is productive or meaningful. It is simply delightful to play. In this sense, play is an expression of life itself, a celebration of existence without the need for justification or purpose. As we grow older, we lose touch with this natural inclination. Society encourages us to be serious, productive, and goal-oriented. We learn to measure our worth by our achievements and to focus on results rather than the experience itself. In doing so, we often forget how to enjoy the process of living. We become preoccupied with climbing ladders, solving problems, and striving for the next milestone, convinced that happiness lies just beyond the next success. But in this relentless pursuit, we miss the simple joy of being alive. Reframing life as play does not mean abandoning responsibility or dismissing the challenges we face. It means shifting our perspective, recognizing that seriousness is not the only way to engage with the world. Play invites us to approach life with curiosity, creativity, and a sense of humor. It reminds us that not everything needs to have a purpose or a payoff. Some things are valuable simply because they bring us joy. When we view life as play, even mundane or difficult tasks can take on a different quality. Think of a musician practicing a challenging piece of music. There is effort, yes, but also a sense of discovery and delight in the process. The goal is not just to perfect the performance, but to enjoy the act of creating. Similarly, when we bring a playful mindset to our daily lives, we open ourselves to the possibility of finding beauty and meaning in the ordinary. This perspective also helps us navigate failure and uncertainty. In the realm of play, mistakes are not disasters, they are part of the game. A misstep in a dance or a wrong move in a chess game is not a reason to give up. It is an opportunity to try again, to learn, and to keep playing. Life, too, is filled with missteps and detours, but when we approach it playfully, we can face these moments with resilience and a light heart. Playfulness also nurtures our relationships. Laughter, spontaneity, and shared moments of joy strengthen our connections with others. When we stop taking ourselves so seriously, we become more open, more authentic, and more compassionate. We allow ourselves and those around us the freedom to be imperfect, to experiment, and to grow. Even the search for meaning, a pursuit that often weighs heavily on us, can be enriched by a playful approach. Instead of treating life as a puzzle with a single definitive answer, we can embrace it as an open-ended game. Meaning is not something we have to discover or achieve. It is something we create through our actions, relationships, and experiences. Play reminds us that there is no right or wrong way to live, only infinite possibilities to explore. At its core, life as play is about being present. Play exists in the now. It cannot be postponed or stored for later. When we play, we are fully engaged with the moment, free from the burdens of past regrets or future anxieties. This presence brings a sense of freedom and vitality, a reminder that life is not a problem to be solved, but a gift to be enjoyed. In the grand theater of existence, we are all players, improvising our roles on a stage that is constantly changing. The script is unwritten, and the outcomes are uncertain. But that is the beauty of it. Life is not about reaching a final destination or proving our worth. It is about participating fully, embracing the unexpected, and finding joy in the act of playing. When we let go of the need to be serious all the time, we rediscover the lightness of being, and with it, the profound, simple truth that life at its best is a playful celebration of the absurd miracle of existence. The question of who we truly are has fascinated humanity for centuries. At the heart of this inquiry lies a profound paradox. Are we the dreamer, the conscious agent shaping our lives, or are we the dream, a product of forces beyond our control? This duality invites us to explore the nature of the self not as a fixed identity, but as a fluid, dynamic interplay between perception and reality. We often think of ourselves as separate, autonomous beings. This sense of self feels solid and undeniable, rooted in our thoughts, memories, and the narrative we construct about our lives. We identify with the I that plans, decides, and acts, believing it to be the driver of our existence. Yet, if we examine this self closely, it begins to dissolve under scrutiny. Where is the I located? Is it in the mind? The body? The story we tell ourselves? Every attempt to pinpoint it reveals its elusive, ever-changing nature. This is where the paradox deepens. While we experience life as individuals distinct from the world around us, our very existence is inextricably linked to everything else. Just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from the web of relationships, experiences, and conditions that shape us. The boundaries we perceive between ourselves and others, between the dreamer and the dream are, in many ways, illusions created by the mind. I consider the experience of dreaming itself. When we dream, we inhabit a world that feels entirely real until we awaken. Within the dream, we play a role, encounter others, and navigate scenarios that arise from the depths of our unconscious. Yet everything in the dream, the characters, the landscape, the events, is a projection of the dreamer's mind. In waking life, could it not be the same? What if the self we identify with is merely a role we play, a construct shaped by cultural, biological, and personal influences? And what if, beyond this construct, we are the dreamer, the awareness that gives rise to the entire experience? This perspective does not deny the reality of our individual lives, but invites us to see them in a broader context. When we realize we are both the dreamer and the dream, we transcend the limitations of the ego. We begin to understand that the self is not a fixed entity, but a process, an ongoing creation that arises and dissolves moment by moment. This insight can be profoundly liberating, allowing us to move beyond the constraints of identity and embrace the interconnected nature of existence. The paradox of self is not a puzzle to be solved, but a mystery to be explored. It reminds us that we are both the creators of our experience and participants in a greater unfolding. To ask whether we are the dreamer or the dream is to open ourselves to the fluid, ever-changing nature of reality where boundaries blur, identities shift, and the deeper truth of who we are remains both wondrous and elusive. Time is one of the most profound and persistent mysteries of human experience. We measure it, plan our lives around it, and are constantly aware of its passage. Yet what is time, really? Beyond the ticking of clocks and the turning of calendars, time is not a physical entity we can touch or hold. It is a construct, a framework created by the mind to make sense of existence. And within this construct lies an often overlooked truth: the only moment that truly exists is the eternal now. The past, as we think of it, is a collection of memories stored in the mind. It does not exist as a tangible reality, but as a series of impressions shaped and reshaped by our current perspectives. Similarly, the future is a realm of imagination, a projection of possibilities that have not yet come to pass. Both the past and the future are constructs that exist only in thought. The present moment, however, is immediate, real, and undeniable. It is the ground upon which all experience unfolds. Despite this, we often find ourselves trapped in the illusion of linear time. We dwell on the past, replaying events and assigning them meanings that fit our current narratives. Or we project ourselves into the future, planning, worrying, or dreaming about what might come. In doing so, we lose touch with the now, the only point at which life is actually lived. This obsession with time creates a sense of separation, dividing our lives into moments that are gone and moments that are not yet, leaving us disconnected from the richness of the present. What if we let go of this illusion and embrace the eternal now? To do so is not to deny the existence of past or future, but to recognize their place as aspects of the present. The past exists within us as memory, accessible only in the now. The future exists within us as anticipation, imagined in this very moment. When we see time this way, we realize that we are never truly outside of the present. We are always here, in the now. This perspective transforms the way we experience life. The eternal now is not static or frozen. It is dynamic, alive, and endlessly unfolding. It is the space where all possibilities exist and where every moment is an opportunity for presence and connection. By anchoring ourselves in the now, we free ourselves from the burdens of regret and anxiety. We can engage with life fully, appreciating its depth and beauty without being weighed down by what was or what might be. The eternal now invites us to step beyond the limitations of time and into the reality of being. It is not a concept to be grasped, but an experience to be lived. When we quiet the mind's chatter about past and future, we discover a timeless awareness, a sense of presence that connects us to the flow of existence. In this space, life is not a series of fleeting moments, but a single boundless moment, eternal, infinite, and profoundly real. The universe often feels vast, incomprehensible, and separate from us. We look at the stars and see an endless expanse of space, a reality far removed from our own lives. Yet, if we look closer, we find that the universe is not something outside of us, it is within us, reflected in every cell of our being. The same forces that shape galaxies also shape who we are. To truly see ourselves is to see the universe, and to truly understand the universe is to see it mirrored within. Everything in existence is interconnected, part of a vast, intricate web of being. The air we breathe was once part of distant stars. The water that sustains our cycles through the earth, sky, and oceans, touching countless lives along the way. Even the atoms that make up our bodies were forged in the heart of ancient stars, long before the earth was born. In this sense, we are not merely in the universe, we are the universe, expressed in human form. This interconnectedness is not just physical, but also energetic and spiritual. Just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from the whole of existence. Our lives are shaped by countless influences: genetics, culture, relationships, and the environment, and in turn, our actions ripple outward, affecting everything around us. Every thought, word, and deed contributes to the unfolding of the larger whole. When we begin to see ourselves in this way, as threads in the vast tapestry of existence, our perspective shifts. We realize that our individuality is both real and illusory, a unique expression of something much greater. This realization fosters a deep sense of connection. When we see ourselves in everything, we begin to recognize the unity underlying all diversity. The tree outside your window is not just a tree, it is a living, breathing reflection of the same life force that animates you. The stranger you pass on the street is not truly a stranger, but another expression of the same universal essence. Even the seemingly mundane or inanimate rocks, rivers, clouds becomes alive with meaning when viewed through this lens of interconnectedness. Recognizing this unity also transforms how we relate to the world. Compassion and empathy naturally arise when we see others as extensions of ourselves. We realize that harming another, whether a person, animal, or the planet itself, is ultimately harming ourselves. This awareness encourages us to act with care, kindness, and responsibility, knowing that every choice we make reverberates through the whole. Seeing the universe within ourselves is not about losing individuality, but about expanding our sense of self. We are not isolated fragments, but integral parts of a magnificent whole. This understanding brings a profound sense of belonging, reminding us that we are never truly alone. Wherever we go, the universe is there, not just around us, but within us, alive in every breath, every heartbeat, and every moment of awareness. To see yourself in everything is to embrace the infinite, to find wonder in the ordinary, and to know that you are, in every sense, a microcosm of the cosmos. Existence is strange. When we pause to truly consider it, the sheer fact that we are alive on a spinning rock in an endless universe is almost incomprehensible. We are made of stardust, bound by physical laws we barely understand, and gifted with the consciousness to wonder about it all. And yet here we are, navigating grocery lists, small talk, and fleeting moments of awe as if any of this is normal. Life is both absurd and magical, a paradox we live out every day. The absurdity lies in the seeming randomness of it all. Why does the universe exist? Why do we exist? There is no definitive answer, yet we continue to build meaning out of the unknown. We construct narratives, fall in love, and seek purpose in a cosmos that might not have one. This tension between our desire for meaning and the indifference of the universe creates a beautiful absurdity. We are players in a game where the rules are unclear, yet we keep playing with passion and creativity. But alongside the absurd is the magic. The way a sunset can bring tears to our eyes, or the sound of laughter can connect us to something deeper, reminds us that existence, in all its strangeness, is a gift. The fact that we can experience anything at all, joy, sorrow, curiosity, is extraordinary. Life may not come with a clear explanation, but perhaps that's what makes it so wondrous. Its weirdness invites us to embrace uncertainty, to laugh at the absurd, and to marvel at the beauty of simply being. Well, in its chaos and unpredictability, existence offers us something profound, the chance to be part of a mystery far greater than we can ever fully grasp.